Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Govinda Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Bolo Bolo Hari, Nitai Gauranga, Bolo Bolo Hari, Nitai Gaurari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Shtottara Sati Shri Srimad Divine Grace Avaicharanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki. Discourse founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Guru Bhakta Vrinda ki. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki. Shri Prabhupada ki. Prabhupada Nuga ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki. Nittai Gaura Premanande. All glories to Srimad devotees, all glories to Srimad devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Shri Guru. Why don't you give me some book power? You don't want Bhagavatam? Give some. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Which shloka, which chapter, which canto?
4:23.
Canto 4, chapter 23, text 9. Sanat Kumaro Bhagavan Yad Ahadyatmikam Param Yogam Tenaiva Purusham Abhajat Purusharshabha. Please repeat. Sanat Kumaro Bhagavan Yad Ahadyatmikam Param Yogam Tenaiva Purusham Abhajat Purusharshabha. Sanat Kumaro Bhagavan Yad Ahadyatmikam Param Yogam Tenaiva Purusham Abhajat Purusharshabha. Sanat Kumaro Bhagavan Yad Ahadyatmikam Param Yogam Tenaiva Purusham Abhajat Purusharshabha. Sanat Kumara, Sanat Kumara, Bhagavan most powerful, yet that which Aha said, Adhyatmikam, spiritual advancement of life, Param, ultimate, Yogam, mysticism, Tena, by that, Eva, certainly, Purusham, the Supreme Person, Abhajat, worshipped, Purushar Shabha, the best of human beings. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation: Thus the best among human beings, Maharaja Prithu, followed that path of spiritual advancement which was advised by Sanat Kumara. That is to say, he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In this verse, it is clearly said that Maharaja Prithu practiced the pranayama yoga system, engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as advised by the Saint Sanat Kumara. In this verse, the words Purusham Abhajat Purushar Shabha are significant. Purushar Shabha refers to Maharaja Prithu, the best among human beings, and Purusham refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The conclusion is that the best man amongst all men engages in the service of the Supreme Person. One Purusha is worshipable and the other Purusha is a worshipper. When the Purusha who worships a living entity thinks of becoming one with the Supreme Person, he simply becomes bewildered and falls into the darkness of ignorance. As stated by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 2.12, all living entities assembled in the battlefield as well as Krishna himself were also present in the past as individuals and would continue to be present in the future as individuals also. Therefore, the two Purushas, a living entity, Supreme Personality of Godhead, never lose their respective identities. Actually, one who is self realized engages himself in the service of the Lord perpetually, both in this life and in the next. Indeed, for devotees, there is no difference between this life and the next. In this life, a neophyte devotee is trained to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in the next life, he approaches the Supreme Person in Vaikuntha and renders the same devotional service. Even for the neophyte devotee, devotional service is considered Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. Devotional service to the Lord is never considered a material activity. Since he is acting on the Brahma Bhuta platform, a devotee is already liberated. He therefore has no need to practice any other type of yoga in order to approach the Brahma Bhuta stage. If the devotee adheres strictly to the orders of the spiritual master, follows the rules and regulations and chants the Hare Krishna mantra, it should be concluded that he is already at the Brahmabhuta stage as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Mam chayo abhyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samati taitan brahmabhuyaya kalpate. One who is engaged in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Om Tat Sat. Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamani. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Maharaj Prithu's, this chapter says Maharaja Prithu's going back home. And I will read the translation again. Sanat Kumaro Bhagavan Yad Adhayatmikam Param Yogam Tenaiva Purusham Abhajat Purushashrabha. Thus the best amongst human beings, Maharaja Prithu, followed that path of spiritual advancement, which was advised by Sanat Kumara. That is to say, he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So, it is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, Kim karmeti, kim akarmeti, kavayopyatra mohita. What is the right thing to do? What should not be done? Even kavayopyatra mohita, even the most learned people don't know and they get confused. So, not easy to understand what to do and what not to do. Should not take this statement lightly. That's why in the Bhagavatam, it repeatedly keeps saying, this is what he did, this is what Dhruva Maharaj did, this is what Prithu Maharaj did. And it looks like a repetition for us. Already I read it and well. And you see Prabhupada is repeatedly saying this. Again and again, one devotee told me, I read all the Prabhupads are the same. I said, you keep reading, then you will see the difference. Not the same. It's not the same. Your mind is so crazy, it will make you do all sorts of crazy things. The purports are not the same, and Prabhupada is not somebody who is repeatedly wasting time writing the same purports. Just imagine, how will it be the same? Like Prabhupada said, if you look at a mountain from a distance, all look same, looks like Blue Hill. Nilagiri, Blue Hill. You go, he said, you go inside, you approach the hill, then you will know there is a fantastic road inside, there are people living there, there are trees, there are fruits, there are flowers, there are hills, there are valleys, there are rivers, there are waterfalls, there are so many things there. But for you, it looks like a big hill from outside. It's all same. So the more we enter into seriously, willing to participate, giving the time with desire, then you will be exposed to these varieties. Otherwise, you can think everything is one. Everything one is a boring, monotonous, monochromatic idea. Everything is not one. There are so many differences, but still it is one. That's the way Lord Chaitanya has explained. So Dhruva Maharaj, you will see also, after having gone to the forest when he was 5 years old, after seeing the Lord, after 36,000 years, again he will go to the forest. He has ruled for 36,000 years, again he'll go to the forest and do the same thing. And he will go back to Godhead. This time it's not that Krishna will come and stand in front of him. You get an airship, permanent. Last time was a temporary performance. You can temporarily see the Lord, he can go back to rule. இப்போ permanently you're going back to stay. So did he do the same thing again and achieve the same thing? No. It looks like it's the same thing. If you look at it, he again saw God and again. Material life is such that you think all the varieties in matter and the material things that you're doing are the real variety. It's cheating. Actually, there is no variety in the material world. It's an illusion. The mind has capacity to infinitely cloud and illusion you. Even your spiritual life can be nicely under that grasp. So that's why when we chant Hare Krishna, we will feel the same things. திரும்பி அதே சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கேன். எவ்வளவு வருஷமா chanting பண்றாங்க. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. If you think like this, you'll get that only. You'll exactly get that. That's the difference here. What it says, Sanat Kumara told him this and therefore he did like that. It says, Sanat Kumaro Bhagavan. Prithu Maharaj, this is the meaning of saying mind control. Controlling the mind is not just not drinking coffee and tea and not seeing the movie, and not that alone is not controlling the mind. There is a very LKG level controlling the mind. Controlling the mind is all the tricks that Tattva plays with you, or the mind plays with the Tattva and illusions you. You may be under the illusion that I have controlled my mind, I have become a devotee and I am able to do this, that. But you may not be controlled from your mind in actually achieving Sayujya Mukti. You may control over everything else, but you can't stop yourself from thinking that Sayujya Mukti is the topmost. The Prabhupada calls it the last snare of Maya. The last trap for the conditioned soul is Sayujya Mukti, is very nicely presented by Maya to you. Very nicely presented by Maya to you. And many people succumb to it. So I was wondering that you don't have, even if you become spiritually, become materially liberated, still you're not safe. The Bhagavatam says, even if you become materially liberated, Tvayi ashtabhavad avishuddha buddhaya aruhya krichrena patanti adaha dushmat angraya. Because you did not get attracted to Krishna, because you did not serve the Lord's lotus feet, you will be in a position where even though you are liberated, you will come back to the material world. This statement is made in the Bhagavatam. That's why he says here, Prabhupada is commenting on the side, in the purport. He is saying, that is to say, he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is adding this. It's mentioned here, Yogam tenaiva purusham abhajat purushar shabha. Sanat Kumaro Bhagavan yad adhayatmikam param. Adhyatmika means his own spiritual life. Oh, that's the best among human beings. Maharaja Prithu followed that path of spiritual advancement which was advised by Sanat Kumara. You must not think spiritual advancement means achieving mukti. You must not think spiritual advancement means becoming Brahman realized. So Prabhupada is adding, that is to say, he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. That's what Sanat Kumara taught him. That's what Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad Gita, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhaktaha Madhya Jimam Namaskuru. People don't do it. Most of the people read Bhagavad Gita and worship demigods. This is very amazing. People simply don't do what Krishna told we should do. The world is filled with people who like to do what they want to do in the name of religion, in the name of following Krishna's instructions. Very important point. Prabhupada is saying that Prithu Maharaj followed the instruction of Sanat Kumara. This is the meaning of saying, Arjuna is saying, Karishe Vachanam Tava. I will do what you said. And he actually did. But Krishna also told him, Yate Chasi Tata Kuru. You can do what you want to do. Now that I have told you everything, you deliberate and you do what you want to do. Arjuna's response was, oh, not that, thank you very much, you asked me to do whatever I want to do. In the freedom, I wanted this freedom. I thought that you will actually completely compress me and put me inside a small slot and tell, do what I told you to do. I wanted this freedom. Everybody wants this freedom to do what they want to do. Because they feel that if I do what you're asking me to do, I feel constrained and restrained. I'm not free. I must do what I want to do, then only I'm free. You're wrong. In material life, if you do what you want to do, you become imprisoned. If you do what Krishna is asking you to do, you become liberated. It's very simple sutra. If you do what you want to do, you're finished. This is what Krishna told Arjuna also. He told that Atachetum ahankara nasroshyasi vinangshasi. Gave one hint which Arjuna picked up. Many places is very positive to Arjuna. Oh, Dhananjaya, you're so dear to me, you're that, every time he addressed so nicely. But he told him in this one sloka, Machita sarvaturgani matprasada tarishyasi atachetum ahankara nasroshyasi vinangshasi. Don't listen to me, you'll be lost. It also he said in between. And Arjuna caught it immediately. It requires intelligence to understand what Krishna is saying and why he is saying and why it is for our benefit. The Bhagavatam says that Prahlad Maharaj is saying, நீங்க கண்ணாடிக்கு முன்னால நின்னு நல்லா மேக்கப் எல்லாம் போட்டு and you see your face becoming more beautiful, you looking very attractive. So the Bhagavatam asking, who has benefited? You only have benefited. You have benefited. In the same way, if you render devotional service to the Lord according to the instruction of Krishna, it is you who benefits, not Krishna. It's not that because you're listening to Krishna and listening to Guru and listening to Vaishnava, Hari, Guru, Vaishnava, உனக்காக ஒரு ஃபேவர் பண்ணியிருக்கேன், what you told I heard and I did it. They're not getting any kicks out of it. It's for you. This paradigm of thinking, this business economy and the education we have, I am doing something for you by listening to what you told me. It's a subtle program inside, as though you're doing me a favor by listening to Bhagavad Gita's instructions. Who wants you to do that favor? For yourself. For yourself you're doing. Because the material world is so designed that I do something for you, you must give me something. So even when we are doing devotional service, sometimes we are expecting fruitive results. I'm chanting Hare Krishna. Why did this happen? My mother passed away. But my chanting Hare Krishna, your mother should stay forever with you. It never says that anywhere. Some magic should happen. It doesn't say that also. What is the result of chanting Hare Krishna? Krishna mantra, what is that sloka? Krishna mantra hoite, Krishna mantra pabe hoite, samsara mochana, Krishna nama hoite pabe, Krishneda charana. Very clear distinction Chaitanya Charitamrita makes. If you chant Krishna mantra pabe, samsara mochana. It's very bewildering if you don't know the real meaning of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad. But Prabhupada explained that very nicely. Krishna nama pabe, Krishnera charana. If you chant Krishna mantra, which is Gayatri mantra, and you do all the Brahma Gayatri and everything nicely, you you will get samsara mochana. You will get liberated. But if you chant Krishna Nama hoite pabe Krishnera charana, you will get Krishna. You will get love of Krishna. You will get shelter at his lotus feet. This distinction is made in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Which one do you want? You want liberation only, or you want beyond liberation? So we are following Krishna's instruction to get something beyond liberation. We want Krishnera Charana, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, Patitam Vam Vishame Bhavam Kripaya Tavapada Pankaja Stitadhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya. The prayer Lord Chaitanya has showed us how you should pray. You should pray like this. Somehow the other I fell down and got separated from you. Ainanda Tanuja. I am Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram, servant of Nanda Maharaja's son. Patitam Vam Vishame Bhavam Buddho. I fell down from that position. I accept it. To understand that you have fallen down itself will take you many janmas if you are alone. Because we have the help of a pure devotee of the Lord, you are able to immediately understand this is where you are. It's a big thing to even understand what is the problem. In the material world, to even understand that you are in a big problem, it takes a long time. For a jnani, it takes a long time to understand. There's a lot of study. And then for him to understand that Krishna is everything takes even more. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. See? So, it is not a casual thing, devotional service. It is very rare. But it is being given very cheaply by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That doesn't mean it becomes cheap. It's been given at a great discount. That doesn't reduce the value of the item. If I give you diamond free, doesn't mean diamond is cheap. Because of my attitude of wanting to give it to you free. But diamond doesn't become cheap. If I donate diamond to you out of my some favor or something to you, doesn't mean diamond good thing la cheaper. Diamond doesn't become cheap. Diamond doesn't become cheap. It's my attitude of wanting to give you cheap. You don't qualify for it. You don't afford it, but I'm giving it to you. It means there's something about me and you and a relationship that makes me give this to you. But diamond is not cheap. So therefore, the item given is Krishna Prema. Chirad adattam nijagupta vittam swapremna namamritam ati udaraha. Because he is ati udaraha, because he is very merciful. He is giving from his treasury the most precious item. Nijagupta vittam from his treasury is given and is in the form of namamritam he is giving you that. We must appreciate the Lord's generosity and mercy. Because it's not so easy to get this. Not so easy to get this. Krishna Bhakti. And Prithu Maharaj knows that. From Sanat Kumara telling him that. This is what he has picked up. Not a small thing. And those days it was not like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there and was getting it very cheap. He was getting it with great difficulty and he knew the value of it. Things, in the material world, they'll tell you, your father has given you everything cheaply, you did not struggle. Most fathers want to write their biography on top of their child. How much I have struggled and got this. May be true. Because in your time, it is like coming very cheaply to you. You don't have value for it. That's a crude example. But we should not think that Krishna Bhakti is easily available. It's not. It's actually not. It is just in the Hare Krishna movement, Prabhupada's mercy and Lord Chaitanya's mercy, it's being given. But normally it is very rare. When Prithu Maharaj and Sanat Kumara's time, it is not very easy to get. They are worshipping. Prithu Maharaj is performing all these austerities, is an ideal person, a great leader, a great Maharishi, Rajarishi. he is performing. So the appreciation of what you have got, the rarity of what you have got, and what it will get you if you do it. All these things should be in the front of us always. And that doesn't fade because of time. A diamond doesn't lose its value because of time. So Krishna consciousness, although the mind is interpreting it in different ways to you, and you go up and down in terms of your devotional services because of interpretations, you should know for sure absolute is absolute. It is no, you can't have a relative estimation and judgment of something absolute. That's what you're doing. When you try to judge devotional service through your mind, through social situations, through your own material situation, you will land up judging devotional service in a material way. But it is beyond all that. This faith and conviction is called Shraddha. That's the real meaning of it. Shraddha, Shabde, Vishwasa Kohile, Sudrida Nishchaya, Krishna Bhakti Kohile, Sarva Karma Krita Hoya. Why it is defined like that? I always wanted to know why Shraddha, faith is defined like this. Because Shraddha, faith is associated with Krishna Bhakti. That is real Shraddha. Simply by rendering devotional service to Krishna, everything will become alright. This is called faith. The definition of faith. Very sophisticated definition of faith. You know, in common parlance, they will, in the world, in the secular world, faith-based organizations, FBO. United Nations speaks about religion and people who follow religion as faith-based organizations. People have faith, which means derogatory saying only faith, no reasoning. No reasoning. They're not under reason, they're under faith. Unreasonable things they will say and they will do, they'll show as scripture. They are faith-based organizations. But something about them is good. They all follow what the book says, what the holy man says, what God says. One thing good about them. So the United Nations is telling, can you tell your people to start following this climate change principles? Because you guys were very obedient. And when you follow it, the rest of the world also will follow. Because we're not able to get the people to follow. The great countries don't have the political will to make changes. United Nations General, UN Secretary General is saying this. Useless. Nobody has made any change. And the planet is plummeting towards disaster. So I appeal to faith-based organizations because you people can make something happen through your following. I said, very good. Now you understand in a very different way. Faith-based organizations should start doing it because you people, we won't do it because you said it according to your logic. But we do know that if you have to become God conscious to actually make a climate change, I often say that you make a climate change within, climate change without will come automatically. That's our process. But the point here is that faith, our understanding of faith, is not devoid of reason. When Prithu Maharaj is worshipping Krishna, don't think he's blindly doing it because it's in the scripture, because Sanat Kumara told him. We are not empty, inane personalities. It doesn't go through you at all. No. We ask questions. We want to understand it. You know, Krishna told Arjuna also, Vimrishyetat yase shena yate chhasi tata kuru. Vimrishya. You deliberate on it, understand it, what I said nicely. Then you do. Then you do. It's the order of Krishna to Arjuna that don't simply take it through. ISKCON से लेकर ISKCON से बाहर करने का, इसलिए तो हमारा नाम ISKCON है. One of our leaders made a joke. ISKCON से लेकर ISKCON से बाहर करने का, इसलिए तो हम ISKCON है. I thought very funny. We got very deep understanding also. We are not ISKCON say ISKCON. We are ISKCON. That's why. If you take it to the answer, what did you say? Why did you say? It's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, they'll not leave anybody alone normally.
That's why people don't like us. They'll bring out all this quote, that quote, this one, and somehow prove this thing. I'm afraid of talking to these fellows because we know stuff. So we are not just doing because so and so said. Intelligent people, in terms of religion, in India, people are quite intelligent. Actually, they may be fanatic, but they ask questions, and now more and more because of the presence of, you know, certain facilities like internet and communications and social media and everything. People are informed, so they ask questions. If the wrong people answer the questions, they'll accept things in a different way. So don't think that we are devoid of reason. Our faith is a hybrid of reason and faith. We starting Adho Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Ata Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti Syat, like that. That faith only solidifies and becomes love of Krishna. It transforms by conviction, by realizations, by performance of devotional service. It becomes solidly fixed and it comes out as love of Krishna. Adav Shraddha, initially faith. That does not mean later you don't have faith. You have something more than faith. Something more than faith. I don't need to be depend on my faith alone. I depend on my personal experience in Krishna consciousness. The realizations that I have, nobody can take me out of that. So the difference between relative religion and absolute religion, which is Bhagavata Dharma, is it will just situate you there. Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai ki. It is so solid that you don't need to, depend on any this or that. Even if Shastra doesn't help you sometime, nobody can spoil your faith. Even if you're defeated in an argument, your faith will not go. That's okay, I lost the argument. But I'm not good. I know. This feeling that I know by my own personal realization, by Paramatma talking to me, by devotional service, I know. I may have lost the argument, but you can't touch my faith. This is the meaning of Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Koile Suddhata Nishchaya. This is how Prahlad, surrounded by all Asuras and Asurakula kids, is able to stand up and keep preaching Krishna consciousness and make it available to all of them. Make it available to all of them. This is the solid thing about Krishna consciousness. Once a person becomes exposed to Krishna consciousness, he can never, anytime, do anything lesser. He can't do Brahmavad and Brahma Sayujya Mukti, he can't worship demigods. It's okay, I did not get Krishna in this lifetime, but I will definitely try for it again and again. I can't settle for anything else. There is no good, better, and all that. There's only best. The best thing only for a devotee, and that is Krishna. That's why it's mentioned here. That is to say, he worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Absolute truth. So, we should appreciate what has been given to us by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the previous acharyas. It's an amazing, wonderful thing in terms of philosophy, in terms of theology, in terms of social life, in terms of everything. It's like very high class and sophisticated. The philosophy itself, explanation for the world around you, yourself, existential understanding, and all everything that everybody is wanting to know, and human society has always wanted to know, and people have propounded many different theories and ideas and concepts and philosophies. It's a complete answer to all of that together. You can see Prabhupada defeating all sorts of philosophies, appreciating certain philosophy and aspects of certain philosophies throughout the Bhagavatam. Right from Western philosophers to Buddhist philosophers to Mayavadi philosophers to Vaishnava philosophers, and everybody is there inside. About everybody he has commented. All ideologies, and he presents the absolute truth, Krishna. So, when we hear this, the activity of a very, very advanced person like Prithu Maharaj. We must know that it is not done just like that, whimsically. It is not done just in a very low platform of you tell me, I listen to you, and I do. It's not done like that. It's done with full consciousness, full understanding. Just like Arjuna said, Nashtamoha smritir labdha tvat prasadat maya achyuta sthito asmi gata sandeha. Therefore I will listen to you. Karishe vachanantava. It's not that you see, pre-qualifies why I will listen to you. I will listen to you because what has happened to me after listening to this, I put questions to you on the battlefield in desperation. What has happened is Nashta Moha, my illusion is lost, gone. Smritir Labdha, I have now regained memory of who I am. Tvat Prasadat Mayachyuta, it's because of your mercy on me. Sthito Asmi Gata Sandeha, I have no doubt of any sort. Karishye Vachanam, therefore I will listen to you. You have removed my illusion, you have benefited me, you have done all these things to me, therefore I want to listen to you. So is it not blind faith? Arjuna is not blind faith. Arjuna is reasoned faith. With hybrid of reasoning, he's arrived at this faith. I will listen to you. This is Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. That we are not blindly following Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And he didn't want us to do that also. He wanted us to read my books, ask me questions, understand it, perform this devotional service. You will get realizations of it. This, in that maturity, is when you will worship Krishna and you know you have to do it. You have to do it. It's a very sophisticated, educated conclusion to worship Krishna. That's what Prithu Maharaj is doing. And that's what we are all doing, even though we may not have so much education. And that is called sadhana bhakti, bhakti yoga. I don't know, but I think that by my intelligence, if some people like this are doing, they must have thought about it pretty well. There are people who follow. Krishna says that also in Bhagavad Gita. Others who don't have full faith in everything, even if they follow, they'll also get benefit. There's a shloka in Bhagavad Gita that says that. Even though you don't have this thing, you follow because of some little intelligence you can understand. Intelligent people are doing this, it must be something intelligent. Like that, also you may follow. Because Krishna is very merciful at the end of it. Not that he is a personality and invariably the mercy component is always there in everybody's life. Not that everything you did is by your own 100% labor and you grew your own bhakti by yourself. And you labored for it. There'll be Vaishnava's mercy, there'll be Guru's mercy, there'll be Acharya's mercy, there'll be the Lord's mercy, there'll be Paramatma's mercy, all this put together. That's how you made it. The Mayavadis will always think that they did it themselves. By their own gyan, by their own effort. It's a labor of all sorts and a feeling that I am great, I did it. For a devotee, the good thing about him is that he's just waiting to get the mercy of the Lord and he feels very humble that he's a recipient of the mercy and he doesn't think he is very great. You see in the activities of Prithu Maharaj, you will see, although he is really great in the material world, although he is also great spiritually, he doesn't think he is very great. This is an interesting thing. This is very, very interesting. This is to say, when you see Madhavendra Puri, Krishna has made him great by stealing for him. And the whole town is talking about it. But Madhavendra Puri is feeling otherwise. He is thinking, I decided to eat that. I desire to eat that kheer even before it was offered. Horrible. I'm a very low class fellow. And he went away. How can you do like this? And he went away and he's sitting near some bathroom somewhere in the public place and chanting Hare Krishna. But Krishna has decided that you are very dear to me, Madhavendra Puri. Why I will not? I get this chance to satisfy you. that you want to eat this kheer, here is my chance to do something for you. Because you don't desire anything otherwise. For Krishna, it's a great opportunity to satisfy Madhavendra. It's a real competition. And this Pujari is coming around searching. There's a very nice shloka of him shouting in the Chaitanya Charitamrita saying, where is that Madhavendra Puri for whom the Lord has done chori? He has stolen for you. Who is that person, Madhavendra? And he comes to him, finds out you are, and pays obeisances to him and says, Lord stole this for you and he asked me to give this to you. The Madhavendra Puri starts crying. I am nobody. How come you have done this for me? And he starts crying, and then he takes that and eats the kheer for several days together and eats the pot because it is held by Krishna. Bites that mud pot every day, one installment, and eats it for lunch, one portion of the mud pot, for dinner, one portion of them for breakfast, one he eats it and he is dancing. A little act. But the Lord is very happy. He is very happy. Then he says that now people will start talking about me. I want to quit this place. Why? Hordes of people will come to see me. Oh, that Madhavendra Puri for whom the Lord has done chori, you are the person, bless me, I can bless everybody. He said that will spoil my devotional life and he left the place. I should hide again. I should hide again. I should disappear. He left the place. I'll go to some place where people don't know me and quietly practice my Krishna consciousness. That's how the devotee is thinking. By such a humble devotee, not asking for anything and simply asking for your devotional service. That is a real devotee. It doesn't mean that because his Prithu Maharaj is very famous on top of a big pedestal at Simhasana, he's not feeling like Madhavendra Puri. He is feeling that in spite of that. For Prabhupada to write, yesterday I was speaking about this, in the Dhruva Maharaj's pastime, you will see that Dhruva Maharaj becomes suddenly conscious of his mother when he's got into the airship. Vaikuntha airship, with Nanda, Sunanda are waiting for him and they're, taking him in and he's moving off. Moving off says, what about my mother? She's the reason for everything. And then Nanda and Sunanda immediately pointed and said, don't worry, I've taken care of it. She's coming in another ship. And so Dhruva Maharaj becomes peaceful. She's also going back to Godhead with me. So she is the reason, according to me. My first guru, Pata Pradarshaka Guru, Pattama Pradarshaka Guru, Prabhupada explains. And therefore, I am very grateful to her. She is also going back to Godhead. In that purport, Prabhupada is writing, I am so crippled with so many difficulties and problems. But if one of my disciples becomes like Dhruva Maharaja, he will be able to take me back to God. He's actually writing this there. And I don't think he is writing to be looking very humble or something. Prabhupada really thinking like that and writing. The flow is such that you can see it's just flowing into it like that. He's describing Suniti and how she had done wonderful things for Dhruva Maharaj, looked after him and everything. And then in the end of the purport, he writes that I am so crippled, I have not been able to do things properly. But if one of my disciples becomes as good as Dhruva Maharaja, he will take me back to Godhead. This is not a very humble statement. That after all that has happened, that we have spread all over the world the holy name in the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, they printed and distributed. People are chanting Krishna and having Rath Yatras all over the place. He is still thinking, if somebody like Dhruva Maharaj is there, I too can go back to God. Madhavendra Puri is like that. He was also thinking that I am a very nasty, low-class devotee. I desire to eat the cake. And now the Lord has stolen for me. I'll become famous. I should disappear from here. All these show, like Prithu Maharaj is here, his action of following what Sanat Kumara has mentioned and doing it exactly like this. This is a sign of humility. When people in great positions act correctly, It's humility. It's humility. And they assume positions. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is known to have said during Vyasa Puja that you may think I'm a brute sitting on this big asan, taking so many malas on my head, it's filled up till here. There's a picture of him like this. You may think I'm a brute, but I am doing this seva for my disciples. I'm sitting here to do this service for my disciples, so that they may worship according to the Shastra. I should be available to them, and I should do my seva for them. For me, it is a seva I do for them. What a attitude and bhava correctly placed. So I'm not bewildered. You must put me on a bigger asana. Very good. You put why? You're doing it for. I'm doing it for you. You must do this as per the Shastra, and I must be available for you to do this. If I say, no, 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 I am very not fit for that, no, why did you become Guru here? When you do that, you have to assume that position. And you should do that seva from that position. Prithu Maharaj is doing his seva from that position of being a king. But that doesn't mean I'm not a devotee. In my private life, I'm a devotee. And I don't conflate these two things together. I'm a king, therefore I'm a great devotee. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm a king, I will do what I have to do. Even if it is Indra, I'll chase him and I'll try to, the Ashwamedha Yaga, he chased Indra also. If necessary, I'll do that. But when it comes to devotional service, I will wash the feet of the four Kumaras who have come home. I will take their blessing. I will remain who I am and beg for mercy. And I am doing my sadhana, and I'm fixing myself on Krishna. Everybody should do it. If you're not a king also, you will do the same thing I'm doing. It's not that because I'm a king, I'm getting any special advantage out of it. That's okay. The Lord has chosen me to play this role. That role I will do. But for my own personal spiritual life, I should advance by virtue of the service I render and by my own determination in Krishna consciousness. No title or position that you may have in ISKCON, it should be concluded or thought to be a confirmation of your great devotional service and purpose. Don't make that mistake. Remember Madhavendra Puri, remember Prabhupada's statement here in Dhruva Maharaja's pastime. I am still dependent on the Lord's mercy, Vaishnava's mercy to make progress in my spiritual life. I may do all sorts of things for Prabhupada's movement, but that doesn't mean you should assume that therefore I am already advanced. You are an instrument. Instrument doesn't mean instrument has become this thing already. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachan means I am willing to use you as instrument. So many people become used as instruments. This is my understanding. Shocking understanding I had. Because I thought some of these devotees have done so much of service for Prabhupada, why they are not no more in the movement. Why they are doing this and all that. At the right time, you were willing to be an instrument and Krishna used you, and that is fortunate for you. But that doesn't mean that you are already very elevated, that Krishna used you as an instrument. Krishna used many people as instruments in the Mahabharata war. It's not that all of them achieved perfection. It's only those who actually were devoted to Krishna. So it doesn't mean that you're part of Krishna conscious movement, you will automatically go back to God. You have to work to cultivate your love for Krishna. And that is a private thing that Prithu Maharaj is doing. He may be a ruler, king, he can sit down, why? Because I'm a king. I'm the great king. He didn't say that. You see, he went to the forest, he did tapasya, he looked after himself, his spiritual life. So, especially to leaders in the movement, I always say that you must chant your japa, read Prabhupada's books, and worship the deity, dance and chant in front. Whatever Prabhupada said, you must do. It's not that because you are assumed some position in service that you don't have to do. Or you have to assume that I am special. That is the meaning of saying, here Prabhupada says, he performed his sadhana, his pranayama, yoga system, he went through it in the forest, everything he did. Although he was king, Shakti Avesh Avatar, Prithu Maharaj. Why did he not say, I'm Shakti Avesh Avatar, I don't have to do all these things? Didn't say anything of those sort. This is the special characteristic of Prabhupada, Madhavendra Puri. Now you will see humility, and that attracts Krishna. Sincerity and being realistic about your own Krishna consciousness. Don't assume too many things about yourself. The more you humbly try to be Krishna conscious, the more there is chance that you'll become Krishna conscious. That's all. Simple sutra. That's the meaning of saying Krishna consciousness is not external to you. Right? That is mentioned. What is that? What is the shloka that says that Krishna consciousness is not external to you and it is coming from your own? A little brain dead today. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoi Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Kore Udaya. Kore Udaya, it will rise from within you. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoi. It's not coming from outside because of your sadhana inside. It's already inside. Shravana Adi Shuddha Chitte. Starting from hearing, your consciousness becomes pure. Kore Udaya, it will come out of you. So, it is so wonderful, this news and information about Krishna consciousness and how you can associate with Krishna and how you can create this wealth of bhakti inside you. It's so amazing that the greatest treasure is right there inside you, with you. Why don't you use it? Why don't you rise up and use it? So, Prabhupada has given this information to the whole world. Most precious treasure house of knowledge. And if we are fortunate enough, we can actually take it and experience Krishna consciousness. Om Tat Sat. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any question or comment? Yes. Welcome. Lalitangi Devidasi. That's what is the definition. You said it. That's the definition. So there Krishna mantra is translated as Gayatri mantra. Krishna mantra hoite pave samsara mochana. Which means everything, the whole Vedas is Krishna only. Vedaischa sarve rahameva vedyaha vedanta krit devachaham. We chant Pancharitrika Gayatri mantras, they all have Krishna in it. But Nama, the name of the Lord, that is even more powerful. That we know. Vedic mantras have got potency. They clear you of many things and everything. And all the initial clutter of material life and all that is over. But what's the goal of your life? Just to clear the material this thing? The goal of my cleaning, we are cleaning now the whole temple hall and all that. We clean it. But the goal is not just to clean it. The goal is to clean it, worship the Lord, introduce people to the Lord, they achieve bhakti, and they enjoy Krishna consciousness. All that thing is the other side of it. When I'm cleaning, the end and be all, the be all and end all is not that I've cleaned and I've become pure spirit soul alone. That's not the goal of life. So, in order to clean yourself also, you have to use Krishna's instructions and Krishna mantra only. But Krishna Nama will give you Krishna. Because Krishna Nama is not different from Krishna. Krishna's Chaitanya Rasavigraha, Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasavigraha, Purna Shuddha, Nitya Mukto, Namo Navina Abedaha. There's no difference between the name and the person, object pointed by their name nowadays. So because Krishna has come in the form of his name, it is very different from Krishna mantra. We are not chanting, although it's called Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we are not just chanting mantra. That is Vedic. That is Krishna mantra. Om Sahasrajiksha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumin Vishwato Vritva Atyatishtat Tashangulam Purusha Yevedagam Sarvam. They will chant Purusha Shuktam. This is Krishna mantra. Same Vishnu Sahasranama. It is Vishnu's Nama. But there's a difference between these two. But it will tell you it's difference also between Vishnu Nama and Krishna Nama. That will also be told. So the generic term is Krishna mantra for all the mantras that you have in Vedic. And the highest of them is the Gayatri mantra. So the terminology used here, Krishna mantra hoite pabe Krishnera, samsara mochana. You can get freed from this material, which is a big thing. Get freed from the material is a big endeavor. It's a big job. Whole Hinduism is all about that only. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. But of course, everybody is interested only in the artha and kama. Dharma and moksha, they don't bother. Nobody is bothered about. The whole education system is geared for artha and kama. Make money, enjoy life. For enjoying life, you need money. Therefore, artha and kama only. Dharma, no, we don't understanding properly what it is. Sometimes you go to the temple and put a small photo and you feel very religious. You make yourself feel religious. You see, the light is coming. I am feeling all sorts of material things you feel, and you come out thinking, wow, it was great religious experience. Now let's drink 2 pegs. Let's go back into the material world and get illusioned. That's the result of your so-called religious experience. Right? That is akama and artha. Even if you're following materially, all the great sacrifices and karma kanda principles, all that is locked within kama and artha. Dharma, then you have to take austerity to perform dharma in spite of your situation. Then moksha. These things are not met with. But that itself, it says, it will be given by Krishna mantra and all that. But what Lord Chaitanya is giving is more than that, love of God. Prema Pumarto Mahan, Panchama Purushartham. The 5th artha, which is what is the real goal of life. That is love of God. That you will get directly by chanting Krishna Nama. That's a shortcut. First you must understand what you will get by chanting Krishna Nama and why you will get that and why liberation is not so great for devotees. Right? So all Hinduism everywhere will teach you maximum about moksha, even that they will not talk. They'll talk about artha and kama only. Do this karma kandi, everything, do this, do that, do this, do this. And you will get that. They're stuck within that. They don't talk much about dharma or about moksha. Now here comes a proposal. I'll give you something more than moksha. I'm not even qualified. I don't even understand religion. I don't go to this. Very low class. But Lord Chaitanya is saying, doesn't matter, you're low class. Take it, chant. I'll take you back to Godhead. I was explaining this yesterday in the form of a graph. I drew a graph and I said, see where Hinduism is and where our understanding of religion is. And what is it that Prabhupada has come and presented? It is so great that sometimes you may miss it completely. If you put it graphically, you will see that it is Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. Krishnanama is coming directly from Goloka, not from the Vedas. Not coming from the Vedas. Vedas is Krishna mantra. Krishna mantra hoite pabe samsara mochana. That also is the Lord's plan. Get out of this material world at least. I know you won't fall in love with me because you are against me, but at least I'll help you to get out of the world. But get out of the world, maybe there's a chance you'll fall in love with me. That is the way it is. God is very personal and a very, very merciful, nice, kind-hearted person. And he's always thinking of you and your welfare. First, we must understand this. This is how Prabhupada presented Krishna. He likes you, he loves you, he wants you. Can you please turn around and say Hare Krishna once? That's the way Prabhupada is presented. Very personalized version of the absolute truth. Right? So therefore it separates this. It says that you can be a Hindu, but be a proper Hindu, at least ask for moksha. But Lord Chaitanya is saying, it's much more than Hindu, Bandhu, Jandu, Christian, Muslim, everybody together. You belong to me. Mamaivamsa jivaloke, jivabhutasana. Come back to me. Forget all this. Sarva dharman parityajya, mamekam sharanam vraja. Forget all these religions and all that. You belong to me. Come back to me. Here is Hare Krishna Mahamantra, chant it. It's a huge difference. If you're stuck in religious stuff, it's difficult to understand. You need to chant Hare Krishna and then we understand. What Prabhupada has brought to this world, what the Bhagavatam says, what the Bhagavad Gita says, is quite different from what commonly people understand. Because they are stung, they are bitten and smitten by fruitive activities and the material influence. Difficult for them to understand this. Only a pure devotee of the Lord can come and tell you this is what it is. So it's a very great happening in this planet that Prabhupada descended and told us these things. It's not an ordinary event. It doesn't happen like this all the time. Yes, any other question or comment? Om Tats, yeah. You're echoing. I can't hear you. Would you like to come in the front? Yeah. Yeah. How you see dharma has been followed. So you're assuming that it has been followed. You haven't seen it being followed. So, but what is your understanding of dharma? Because you have not seen it being followed. No, you must be having some understanding of dharma. What is that? Yes. Yes. Exactly. Very good question. Interesting question. So, one thing is that physically things are different. Then when you, 5,000 years back, you read Mahabharata and Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata, Krishna came and instituted Dharma. You're right, physically it's different. And also 5,000 years back, people were far more educated, religious, dharmic and everything. Uh, right now, it is not like that. You're right. You're more advanced into the age of Kali. But the principles don't change. The details may change. The principle of dharma, as it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Dharma can be enunciated by the Lord only. It's not for every Tom, Dick and Harry to speak, this is dharma, this is dharma. First you must understand that. Dharma can be enunciated only by the Lord, the Supreme Lord. So the next question is, so what is that which he has mentioned is dharma? That's the next question. So when the Lord mentions about dharma, he is not mentioning it only for the Mahabharata period or during the Pandavas period only. Dharma spans the entire gamut of time. So it will be principle oriented, not on the basis of details. Details may change, the principle will be the same, right? That basic thing you must understand. So the principle of dharma is that one should learn to understand his constitutional position as spirit soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and therefore function like that. That is essential dharma. There are two types of dharma because you have two types of existences. One is your material body, your material life, your relations, your living, your, everything that you need to do in the material world. Then there's another aspect of you which is your spiritual aspect, which is more permanent, which is forever as spirit soul. Constitutional dharma is that. Conditional dharma is according to your condition in this life, you're doing certain dharmas. You're a mother, you have two children, you have a dharma as mother that you have to execute. You're a wife, you have to execute a dharma as a wife. You are a father, whatever it is, according to the Varnashrama dharma. Those are all your conditional dharmas. That also you must do, this also you must do. These two together are commonly called dharma. But people pay more importance to the conditional dharma only. They're not educated about the fact that by doing this conditional dharma, I should be able to get the constitutional dharma executed, because that is the main goal of life. Because I am spirit soul eternally. I'm only temporarily, what's your name? I'm temporarily Manushri in this lifetime. And Manushri is born with a certain jadagam and a karma, which all those things will be enacted. That is my conditional life. Temporarily, between birth and death, this will happen to you. But you are eternally spirit soul. So two dharmas function here. Your constitutional dharma of you being Atma and your conditional dharma. Like a child you send to school. You're married? So, suppose you're married, you have children. Children sent to school. Children want to play all the time. The friends and they play and they have a cacophony of sound. You leave them alone and they'll be playing and jumping and dancing. They're very happy doing that. But you will catch your child and say, come on, go to school. Go do your homework. You must have experienced it. Your parents would have told you that. It's something which you don't like very much, right? But you are holding your child responsible to do that. What a school guy. You read properly, do this properly and all that. So he'll go and come. But over a period of time, as he ages, he understands that this is more important for me to study properly. I'm no more playing. I play, I do more focused playing. I do studies. And as he grows, you're also happy that become a responsible person gradually. Right? So sometimes if you trouble him and say that you're not keeping this thing properly, you're not doing this properly, you didn't clean your shelf, your shoes are stinking, you don't wash your sock, you don't clean your bike, you do that. Now that he's stable, you start telling all these things to him about his conditional other life. Then he'll turn around and say, okay, tomorrow I'm not going to school. For the next 1 week, I'll sit and clean the pots, clean the room, clean the shoes, clean the cycle, clean the thing, and be with you and clean the kitchen also for you. Okay? He'll say like that. Then she'll immediately say, no, you go to school. You go and do, because I want you to shine and come out in this thing. You're a good student also. I'm sorry to tell you this. He is now telling, which is more important to me. You want to go to school and go to my tuition. I don't have time to do all these things. But I said I'll do it in the weekend. You're bugging me like this. I'll stay here for 1 week and do only this. I'm not going to school. What is your judgment immediately? No, you go. You don't be here. I'll hire a servant maid and do it. It's settled. No more trouble you like that. And you are also happy. He's fixed into what he's doing. What has happened there is he has shown you that more important for me to spend my time going for tuition, studying, and going playing the game because I need it. That's my student life. And if you keep on bugging me about the small things which I know I can do, so what's important if I don't do it? I don't have the time. It's not that I don't have the intention. If you bug me too much, I'll give up my constitutional thing by being a student and I'll do this. This is what is the balance. So don't think dharma is only looking after your children and doing your job and saying Jai Bharat Mata Ki Jai and then becoming a good Samaritan and you picked up that dog in that ditch and put him in this thing and therefore you did your dharma. In the West, people think spiritual life means being compassionate and taking a cat out of this thing. And today I had a spiritual experience, they'll tell you. And on the same day, they will eat mutton chop and everything on their plate. What about that experience of having killed this thing and put it on the plate? But they're very nice to the kitchen. They have all sorts of funny, contradictory ideas. Spiritual life means defined in the Bhagavad Gita. Dharma is defined. So when you say dharma, I am sorry to take a long time to answer your question. Two types. Your material dharma, which you must do towards your child, towards this thing. And then you have your personal life, which is more important actually. It's your constitutional dharma, which you must carry out. should I do? I am a spirit soul in this world. Who am I? Where did I come from? Who is God? How do I connect with Him? Why are things like this? All this is given in the Bhagavad Gita. It's a duty to know all these things and then worship God. That is constitutional dharma. These two together is called dharma. But Bhagavad Gita tells you, even if you did not do the conditioned dharma properly, don't ever give up the constitutional dharma. You'll be condemned if you do that. Right? So when people say Sanatana Dharma and all that, they mean the constitutional Dharma. Sanatana means eternal, forever. Which is your eternal Dharma? Not that you got an engineering degree here and I get a job here. That is not your eternal Dharma. It's your conditional Dharma, which you need a job to, serve your family or something. But in your mind, all the time, you should be thinking about, I am constitutionally spirit soul, and I should do that Dharma. That is called Sanatana Dharma. I hope I've answered your question. Okay? Right. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Nittai Gaur Premanande.